welcome to Matt Talk, a video podcast for the friends and family of Coming First United Methodist Church from me, Pastor Matt. Well, today is Wednesday, October the 23rd, and this is the 100th episode of Matt Talk. As we reach this milestone, I have to say a word of great appreciation to Michael Holbrook, who serves as our Director of Technology and Production. Every Matt Talk we've ever recorded, all 100 of them, Michael has been here in the room with me and behind the camera. And when I finish with the recording, well, the work for Michael has just begun. He slices out my mistakes and edits together the various takes, and he adds in some recordings and images of his own, and the finished product is always so professional, and no one ever gets to see him. He does all this with no credits to himself. So, Michael, going to ask you if you'll come out from behind the camera and let everyone see you. And thank you for all that you do and for all 100 episodes that you have made of Matt Talk. Well, today I'm also honored to have Dr. Martha Braswell and Charlotte Ramberg as my guests. Dr. Braswell is serving as our Interim Director of Music Ministries. She is here every Thursday rehearsing with the handbell and chancel choirs, and each Sunday she is our organist and choir director at the 11 o'clock worship service. Then on Monday she joins us via Teams to our staff meeting. Charlotte Ramberg is serving as our Interim Director of Children's Ministries, and just this past Sunday, she oversaw coordinating the prayer ground at the Gloria Day service and providing Sunday school for the children of all ages and providing children's church at the 11 o'clock service. And then she hosted her first Kids Explosion on Sunday afternoon. Charlotte also attends our staff meetings on Mondays. It's been great to have her, and she's around the church throughout the week, working with other staff in planning and sharing in ministry. So Martha and Charlotte, welcome to Matt Talk.
Thank you.
Let's begin by having each of you introduce yourselves and tell the people that are watching what you think they need to know about you, about your family, your involvement in the church, your spiritual journey. And if we can, Martha, let's start with you.
Okay. I was raised in the Presbyterian Church by parents who were active both in the support of the church by attendance, service, and giving their talent. I'm a twin and I have two other siblings. My twin passed away 3 years ago. I'm married to James Braswell, who I met in undergraduate school. We have been married 56 years. We have two daughters, Janine and Allison, and they are both married with 2 children each. Allison and her children are on the autism spectrum, and of course that has been a major interest of mine for a long time. I attended East Texas State University, which is now Texas A&M at Commerce, for a bachelor's and master's degree in piano performance. I later attended the University of Oklahoma working on a Doctor of Musical Arts in Piano Pedagogy, and also attended the University of South Carolina in the same field. I finished a doctorate at the University of Georgia in Music and Higher Education. Administration, I have been teaching positions at several colleges in Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, and Georgia. I retired as a distinguished professor of theory and keyboard at San Jacinto College in Pasadena, Texas in 2017. I've been an active church musician for the past 66 years, serving as accompanist, organist, and choir director. I was director of music and organist at First United Methodist Church in Athens for 18 years before moving to Texas. Jim and I moved back to to Georgia, to be near children and grandchildren. We live in Statham and are members of First Presbyterian of Athens, Georgia. Since retiring, I have served as interim organist and/or choir director at Lawrenceville First United Methodist Church, Greensboro First United Methodist Church, and Emmanuel Episcopal Church in Athens. When not in an interim position, I have subbed at Methodist, Anglican, Presbyterian, Lutheran, and Baptist churches in the area as well.
Well, thank you, Martha. I even learned some new things about you. If I knew it, I don't remember that you were a twin. That's exciting. Yes. And so you don't have to guess where Martha and I met. She was interim choir director at Greensboro First United Methodist Church when I was there. Most of the whole 2 years I was there. There was a little while we tried out somebody, it didn't work. But anyway, so Martha and I have gotten to know each other and love working with Martha. She's so fun and has a great spirit. I hope you'll get to know her. So, and thank you for sharing your God-given talents that you've spent a lifetime enhancing, and we are most appreciative for you and for your ministry here among us. All right, Charlotte, it's your turn. Yay. Share with the people watching whatever you'd like for them to know about you, your family, your involvement in the church, and your spiritual journey.
Yeah, so my name is Charlotte, and my husband is Kevin. We met in high school. We've been married for 9 years, so not quite as long as, as you guys have been married, which is awesome. We have 2 children, and their names are Alaric and Amara. They're both in elementary school. We moved to the Cumming area in the fall of 2019, and we began visiting the church shortly after. It kind of got a little interrupted with COVID-19 in the spring of 2020, but once things reopened again, we enrolled our kids in the preschool, and we actually had Alaric baptized by you. So that was kind of our introduction there to the church. After that, we did transfer our membership from Decula United Methodist. We grew up in Gwinnett County. And we officially became part of the church after that. So since then, we've been active in various ways. Besides the regular attendance of the 9 o'clock service, we've participated in the explosion events, which now I'm running, and Celebration Sundays. We've helped out at the free community meal at Thanksgiving, and every year we've also hosted a trunk at the trunk or treat events. So that's been really fun. This year we're going to be doing Magic School Bus theme. I have possibly roped in my extended family, so that's going to be fun. And we would love to have anybody who's interested host a trunk. So if you are interested, please sign up because it's a lot of fun, and you can find that link on the website. Professionally, though, I'm a licensed professional counselor, or an LPC, with a full-time private practice. I do specialize in perinatal mental health, and at this point, this is one of many of my jobs. But I did begin my career primarily working with children. I've had the opportunity to work within my previous church that we transferred our membership from, seeing clients there for a brief time before we moved here. With my perinatal mental health work, I do primarily work with adults now in their reproductive years. However, my experience working with kids and teens, along with being a parent myself, has given me, I think, a lot of tools to kind of translate into this area to serve in this ministry. But that brings me to a conversation that we had prior, which you had mentioned wanting me to share that information, which is important. But I've talked to many people over the years, really just sharing my desire to work within the church. And that kind of happened with me trying to see clients at the previous church before we moved. But so that was kind of short-lived. But I had a conversation with my grandmother, and that was just kind of after you had approached me about this opportunity, and we discussed that desire to work for the church, and I wasn't ever really sure what capacity that was going to happen. So one of the things I did share with you was the word that's been pretty primary in my prayer life was surrender, and so I feel like this is that time to kind of live that out. And my grandmother affirmed that this was a God thing, so I'm ready to move forward with an open heart and open mind to see kind of where that leads myself and us and the church and everybody involved. So we'll see.
Well, it's so amazing how things just kind of fell into place. And when I called you, I was just coming out of left field, and I thought, she's going to think I'm so weird. And and your words, well, I've always wanted to work in the church. I was like, really? What? And then I remembered you sharing, your grandmother said, be careful what you pray for.
Oh my gosh, yeah. She was like, you better be careful because it'll happen some way.
That's right. Well, you've both just had a couple of weeks to get your feet on the ground, and I'm not sure that you really got your feet on the ground. I realize they're probably still not quite there. You're still trying to learn the ropes and how things work, and you know, always the first part of a new job or a new position is to figure out how things have been done, so that then if you want to make changes, you can figure that out from what's been done. But however, tell us a little bit about what you've been doing the few weeks that you have been here. what's impressed you or scared you? What are you working on for the future? Between now and December 31st, what's going on? And Charlotte, I'll start with you and let you go first this time.
Yeah. So I believe we really kind of hit the ground running from the start. And it really is all thanks to the church members and the volunteers that have made this possible, because I don't think I would have, personally at least, I don't know about your experience, but I don't think I would have been able to come in without their help. So this first week or so has been pretty good. But so I'm truly grateful for that, and really getting to see all of the behind the scenes work that keeps everything running smoothly. There's so many tasks that go unnoticed that people don't realize keep the whole church functioning. And so that's kind of been really eye-opening for me on this side of things, as opposed to just being somebody who attends. And I would definitely encourage others to volunteer and get involved, because the more that you engage with the staff and what's going on behind the scenes, you really get a different perspective on the church and the community, and that perspective shifts. So you begin to understand kind of what and who the church truly is. And as far as the children's ministry go, we're working closely with the youth ministry and Nate, trying to reimagine Sundays and get the kids more involved with our youth. So our goal is to build a more consistent participation with Sunday evenings, becoming a regular part of the children's ministry. So I know we've had explosion, but it's been kind of infrequent, or we've changed up what that looks like. And so we want to build a stronger connection for those youth and the kids. And we want to foster relationships between them, really helping them to get to know each other better, and also make that transition a little bit easier too, from children's to youth, because I've heard that feedback that it's kind of scary going from 5th to 6th grade.
Sure, yeah.
Who are these people? So that sense of community is really essential, and at every age level, even adults, the more involvement that we can have from not just parents or grandparents, but really any adult in the church, the more inclusive and connected our kids can be. And that's really what I'm looking for within the larger church body. So I don't know about you guys, but do you remember going to church on Sunday? And if you grew up in a small town like I did, everybody knew everyone. Yeah. And there was no such thing as a stranger. And, we had so many bonus family members. So we had aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, parents, and they were all just a part of the extended family. And kids didn't know the difference between, oh, these are my blood relatives, or these are just other church members that go. And they were surrounded by a loving community all the time. And so that's kind of what I'm hoping to build with this for the time that I'm here.
Oh, yeah, good. Yeah.
A second home for my kids to grow up. I want them to have the whole community that loves and cares for them. So I know that was a bit long-winded, but that's what I'm working toward, a strong, connected, and loving community for our children and youth to be connected with everybody.
Yeah, one of the things I always take away from my experience as a child and as a youth is that we had all kind of volunteers, parents and all, but the people who stick out the most to me and meant the most to me were people who didn't have to be there.
Yes.
They didn't have to be involved. They didn't have a child. They didn't have a youth there. But they were just church members who went out of their way to say, you're important, and we love you, and we want to give time to mentor you. And, Mr. Billy Robertson drove our van many, many years on all of our ski trips. He was always the van driver, and Jane Benton, she was always cooking supper and hosting us on Wednesday nights for Bible study. They didn't have youth or children in the program at the time, but they were just adults that their involvement was really special to us because they didn't have to. They just wanted to. So, all right, Martha, what about you? What have you been doing, and what impresses you? I mean, it's just one more church among many that you've worked in, and what you're working on as we go towards the end of the year.
Well, the first thing I can say is that I'm trying to make a continuity between the worship before and what is happening now, so that it's a smooth transition, and maybe not really a transition, but continued excellence in worship. The most important thing always has been that the worship music enhances the whole morning's experience. And so I'm trying to be very cautious and careful about the selection of music. I have spent quite a bit of time looking at the library and trying to connect anthems that will be doable, and also trying to learn who our singers are, and enjoying working with the high school students, which is an experience I've not had in a choral sense before. I've had high school choirs, but not in this choral scholarship. And that's a very, very, very good thing to have for the community. It gets you into the community. Just continuing to learn people's names in choir and what parts they sing, and then also working with the handbells to get them just going. They're a very solid group, and so is the choir. Always can use more singers, always. But also we could use a few handbell ringers. And that means that if you have played an instrument in high school, or in the marching band, it's perfect for you. And if you are a professional musician, it's still perfect for you. And certainly choirs, the more the merrier. We are planning, of course, every Sunday to have our worship service. But the thing that we're really beginning to plan and work on is a Christmas celebration the afternoon of December the 15th at 4. We want to involve as many groups that can possibly come and sing with us, play with us, do solos. It's a time for you, those of you that have been very quiet about what you can do, can show us here in the church the gifts that God has given you, and really make a celebration of the spirit of the Advent time.
Super.
What
Sounds
I'm
like a great time.
hearing you say is I should convince my husband to play something.
Absolutely,
Yes, yes.
absolutely.
He's going to kill me.
So anybody who can play an instrument, anybody who can sing, whether you want to form a trio or quartet, or be a
Right,
part of the choir,
right.
or sing a solo by yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay,
absolutely.
great. And we're including children and
We are
youth and everybody.
including some children from the preschool, and I'm hoping that the preschool bells will play, and we are going to be involving some of the children in Sunday school, and just wonderful. Nate came and said he may have 5 or 6 high school students that might be interested in singing in the choir.
Super.
So, those of us that are older love the younger.
Yeah, well, that's great. Well, we need everybody. Well, as you all know, Martha and Charlotte, as talented as they are, and with all the excitement they bring to these ministries, they cannot do the ministry of music and children for us. They are not the church. We are the church. You are the church. I'm the church. We're all the church together, and Martha and Charlotte will give leadership and direction, and they'll help guide us and equip us. But they need each of us to take responsibility to do what we've been gifted to do to enhance these ministries, just like the Sunday evening concert. It would be a fun show just to have you all by yourself up there singing and playing. It takes everybody to make a choir, and it takes everybody to pull off a night of such music. So if you do play a musical instrument, let Martha know. Her email is magtoc@aol.com. And if you read music and can ring a bell, come to handbell rehearsal. It's Thursday at 6:20. And if you can sing, come join the choir that rehearses Thursdays at 7:30 till 9 o'clock. There's no auditions needed. Just show up and give it your all. Martha, how else can people support you in this ministry and be the church with you? What do you need from us?
Just some consistency and dedication to really interpreting music that they're playing, and bring the emphasis of whatever the spirit of the music is out, so that the congregation, when they hear it, really have a bonus part to the wonderful sermons they're hearing.
Yeah, that is a very good thing to do. And if you work well with children, let Charlotte know. Her email address is cramberg, Ramberg, at cfumcga.com. After being Safe Sanctuary trained, which takes just a few hours at most, you are needed to help teach Sunday school, to be an adult helper to those teaching, or to be a volunteer for the children's programs on Sunday afternoons and at other times, just like we were talking about earlier. Even if you don't have children and youth in the program, that will mean even more when you show up to let our children and our youth and to let our staff, Martha and Charlotte and all of us, know that you really care, that you're taking responsibility for your church and ownership of your church, and you want it to be the very best that you can make it. So come join us. And Charlotte, how else can people support you in the children's ministries and be the church with you? What do you need from us?
So many things now. So we definitely need more Sunday school teachers and third grade Bible class leaders. And don't worry, lessons are already outlined. I help with that, so there's no need for you to come up with new material. And of course, we welcome any creative ideas for activities or games to help teach fun lessons that the kids are going to be able to understand and want to pay attention to. Yes. Because we all know attention span can be short.
Yes, it can.
But we're also putting together a sub list for those who can't really commit to one Sunday every month for teaching Sunday school. So we can kind of just have an as needed basis for those who want to be involved. So there's less commitment, but you can still be there. Mm-hmm. Other areas, we need volunteers for playground, which includes setting up, sitting with the kids and tearing that down after the 9:00 service. Anybody who wants to supervise the door to let kids and parents in and out of the children's pod, that's great. Because
you mean the check-in?
Yeah, the check-in.
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm. Just because obviously we want to make sure that area is safe and have somebody who can man that door so we don't have little people trying to run out of the building.
Or other people trying to get in that shouldn't be in.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we need to be able to recognize these people. But as we expand Sunday evening events too, we're going to need a lot of extra people there. I would rather have too many adults than not, and we never want the ratio of tiny humans to be too many per adult. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's it for that.
Yeah.
for that.
Well, thank you. Well, as in everything, your prayers, your presence, your gifts, your service, and your witness are always needed to ensure that these and all ministries of Coming First United Methodist Church are what God desires of us. We're not going to do things as they have always been done. We, out of necessity, have to do things differently, and I think that's a great thing. We want to listen, therefore, where is God leading us? And we want to ask ourselves how the ministries of music and children and all the other ministries help us accomplish our vision, to be a community of faith that embodies Christ and Christ's love to the world, to be a community of faith that is diverse in every way, but united in ensuring all are welcome here, to be a community who, not just for a time, but for a lifetime, continues to be open to new things, growing in our understanding of God and not just affirming what we already think we know, and to be a community that serves all God's creations with compassionate care. And lastly, to be a community of faith that engages the larger community and the world at large. Charlotte and Martha, thank you so much for being on Matt Talk today, and thank you for your service in children's ministries and music ministries. You're doing a great job. We're so excited to have you here on our staff, to have you as part of the church, and to have you leading these ministries. We look forward to how God will use you and will lead us through you as a church, and we all will be a part of these new expressions of ministries involving all of us as active participants. And again, I thank you for being my guest today on Matt Talk. And I thank you for joining us for this special Matt Talk, our 100th episode. If you have ideas for future Matt Talks, I invite you to share those with me. You can email me at mstewart@cfumcga.com and invite others to join with you in watching Matt Talk and learning things that we discuss here. Or you can go back and look at our 100 archives that are on our website and see any of the Matt Talks that we've done before today. And thank each of you for all that you mean to Coming First United Methodist Church. And I want you to do a favor right now. I want you to go as soon as you turn off your computer or tablet or phone, and as soon as you finish watching this, go contact Martha or contact Charlotte or contact both of them and let them know how you're going to be praying for them, how you desire to engage in these ministries of children and music, and you will be blessed as you do so, and you will be a blessing to so many others. Well, I look forward to seeing you Sunday in worship, and I look forward to talking with you on the next Matt Talk. Until then, may the peace and the joy of Christ be always with you.